I've been having so many dreams lately. This dream, I am in a place that's grassy, there's lots of trees, and it's not a neighborhood or anything. It's not a city, it's kind of wildernessy. But it's a nice meadowy looking place with nice trees. But I'm dropped right into the dream, like I'm running immediately, and I'm running like for my life. I'm running, I'm terrified, I'm scared, I'm trying to get away from something. I look over my left shoulder, and there's a dog, and the dog is snarling and his teeth are showing, and he's drooling, and he's running full speed at me, and he's gaining on me pretty quickly. And I see the dog, and for some reason I'm not really scared of the dog. Like, I see him and I see he's gaining on me, but whatever. I look over my right shoulder while I'm running, and that's what I was very afraid of. And it was a giant snake. So, like, I mean, I don't even know how long I would say that he is. Like, I don't know, like maybe 30 or 50 feet or something. He's very big, very long. And that's what I'm afraid of. And so I look over my right and here, and he's just coming at me. He's trying to get me. And so I'm running as hard and as fast as I possibly can. The dog to the left of me gains on me, and he jumps toward me. And as my arm is coming back, because I'm running full speed, the dog jumps and latches onto my forearm, and his teeth sink into my arm, and I'm bleeding, but it doesn't stop me. I don't really even care about this stupid dog, but he did cling onto my arm and, bite me and injure me. And so I'm running and he's hanging on my arm, and I just start waving my arm to shake him off. And I shake this stupid dog off me, and I look back, and the snake is gaining because the dog slowed me down. So I continue running, and now the landscape has changed a little bit. Now it's like, I don't know how to describe where I am. It reminds me of like a rice paddy village or something. And I see people out, a few people scattered about in fields, like doing work. And it's like, not like how it is here in the cities and stuff. It's like villagey, like, and so I see this small shack, just a little like stick shack. And so for some reason, I think I'm going to find safety there. And so I'm running so hard toward this tiny shack, and I get in the shack, and it's just so small. There's only one. After you enter the shack, it's one room, and then there's one door. And the one door, it's just like some flimsy straw door that leads to a bathroom. So it's just like one room where you would cook and eat and sleep, and then a bathroom. And I run into this shack, and I look and I see there's no one in there. There's no safety. I see the other door. So I run to the other door and I go in, and it's just a bathroom, just a toilet and a bathtub and a sink. And so I get in there, and my heart is pounding so hard, and I just realize that I had just closed myself in. There was no safety in this stupid little flimsy shack. Also, I forgot to mention that while I'm running, I hear many voices, and the voices are all encouraging me. Like, I just hear them. It's almost like just in my head, but all around me. And they're just like, go on, come on, you can do it, keep going, you can do this. Like, they're just encouraging me. All these voices, there's lots of them. But anyway, so I get into the bathroom, and I remember just being really stressed out, scared, anxious. Like, I had just closed myself in, and this snake, I knew he was coming, and there was no way around it. And I had to face it. There was nothing left to do. And I was so scared. My heart was pounding so hard. It hurt. Like, literally hurt my chest. It was pounding so hard. And I could still hear these voices were telling me that it was going to be okay, that I could do this, that I was going to make it, I was going to do it. And so all of a sudden, because the door of the shack was just like a sticks or something, like so, there was a pretty large space from the bottom of the door to the floor. So it was like a wide gap, maybe like 3 or 4 inches high. And this snake sticks his head underneath the door, and he starts coming, in the bathroom from underneath the door. Now he stuck his head upside down though. So as he comes in underneath, as he's sliding underneath the door, I don't see the top of his head and his eyes. I see the under part of I see his neck and stuff. Like, it's weird, but that's how he started coming, slowly sliding under the crack of this door. And I see the underside of his mouth and his neck, and I start panicking, like looking around to see what I could use as a weapon. And I seen a wire coat hanger. And so I undo this wire coat hanger and make it a long jabbing stick. And I just went over him with all my might, and I slammed this jabbing stick into his throat. And it was really hard to penetrate the skin of this snake. It was very tough. And, a wire coat hanger kind of has like a flimsy give to it. So it's kind of hard for me to actually like penetrate the skin and actually get into the snake. But I tried, and then I pulled it out, and it only made a small hole. And so wham, I did it again. And as I'm doing it, I still hear these voices, and they're getting more excited in their encouragement. They're like, you're doing it. Yes, you're doing it. They're like encouraging me. And so I just keep going, and then the snake pulls out, and then he starts sticking his head back under again. And so I continued on to jab him in the same spot. I did it 3 or 4 times, and finally, like, I got in there good. And so I started like swirling around the coat hanger just to I'm really trying to destroy, like to kill it, and it finally stopped moving. And once it stopped moving, I had to make sure that it was dead. So I started taking everything I could see in the bathroom that I was able to pick up and stack it on top of each other. I put it on his head, and I stacked it up. I stacked all these things on top of each other until it was like maybe 1.5 feet high. And then with all of my might, I just went wham, and I hit down on top of the stack of stuff that was on his head, and it smushed his head and flattened it and made his, crush his brains and stuff. I know, really weird, but right as finally when I did that, I knew that he was dead for sure. And the voices started to cheer that were encouraging me. They're like cheering, and they're so, you did it, yeah, and they're all applauding, and they're just so happy, they're celebrating. And then I opened the door, and the body of this snake is so long, it's just going down so far. But what's weird is when I opened the door, it was all the people from that village, all the people that were out like in the rice paddy things or whatever. They were all lined up. And when they were all lined up around the body of the snake. And when I opened the door, they all were celebrating and cheering. And they all had plates and forks and knives. And they were cutting into this snake and taking big chunks of his flesh and putting it on this plate, going to cook it to eat this snake. And they were all celebrating and so happy. And it was weird just because I was so tired and exhausted. Like, these people were so happy and celebrating eating the snake. I just kind of slinked away off by myself off to the side because I was so exhausted and tired from the battle. But that was that dream.